Hey everyone, and welcome to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the page, be sure to give us a like and a sub so you don't miss any of the content we have coming out. And today we're going to be diving into Lords of Empyre Swordsman. Now, if you guys haven't been following everything Empyre related, I'll leave a link both in the description at the top of this video so you guys can check that out. Lords of Empyre has two other issues, Hulking and Celestial Messiah. And so far, the Empyre event as a whole, I have thoroughly enjoyed. And these Lords of Empyre issues have been really nice to get some backstory on how this war began. So without further ado, let's dive into this issue. So this issue brings us to the Katati homeworld. And on the homeworld, Quoi is being celebrated by what they refer to as the Conclave. It's the most sacred of customs, essentially. And the swordsman is infused. Like he's connected with the Prime Katati. The Prime Katati pretty much took over Swordsman's body. Swordsman is dead at this point. And while there may be some remnants of him left inside, the Prime Katati is now the one in control of this body, 100%. But the Conclave still dismisses him because at the end of the day, he's still too human. He has too much human in him still. And he almost regrets this, but it was necessary. He had to merge with something human, that way they could create the Celestial Messiah, him and Mantis together. And so the Prime Katati, lets Quoi know that he hasn't had a moment of peace since he gave the swordsman blade to Barton. And so he's trying to return the sword, to have some kind of peace. But first they're going to have to steal the sword back. And so they go to Stark Tower and they steal the sword. And then we head over to Vietnam. And they're looking for a grove, the Temple of the Priests of Palma in Vietnam. And we really just get a lot of backstory on the Prime Katati and on how he feels about humans. And Quoi tries to reason with him, like he tries to speak on behalf of humanity. They've fought with Avengers before, they're not all monsters. But the Prime Katati, he sees it otherwise, like he's got a human essentially in his mind. He sees how they think, he knows how they think. And there's almost an innocence to the way Quoi is trying to reach his father. But as they arrive at the temple, the grove, we see humans pretty much dismantling everything, taking apart everything. The grove had blossomed in celebration of Quoi's arrival, and the humans got to it first. And so Quoi, he tries to go out there and reason with them. He tries to tell them that these things, these plants, they're real. They have feeling. They can feel pain. And it doesn't go their way, and a fight ensues. And Swordsman's ready to just take all of them out. But Quoi, he doesn't want to fight. If he's a messiah, of all life. These humans are life, and he wants to protect them at all costs, just like he would protect anything else. And so Quoi gives them a piece of this tree and lets them know that the properties on it would be spectacular for physicians' wildest imaginations. And his only request is that they leave. And so they leave, and Quoi tells his father, that they can be reasoned with. Look, we can reason with them. And he's still, extremely skeptical, of course. So the two arrive at a tree, and he calls it home. And he calls it home because this tree was his original form. And Quoi learns that they're not there to return the sword to the swordsman's grave. The Prime Katati is ready to essentially die. He's ready to move on because he's so lonely. No one accepts him, and he can't live with the swordsman inside of him anymore. They slaughter each other by the millions because they can't come to terms or resolve their contradictions. And he can't bear to have one inside of him any longer. And so they watch the sun rise together, and then Quoi watches his father merge into the tree, becoming one with it. Now we pick up a little later, and the humans have returned to this grove, and they start tearing up all the trees because they've learned the properties and what they can do, but not on a timeline that they want. So it'd take 30 years to produce any kind of good, viable medicine or cure from it. So their thought is, the more we get, the faster we can create it. And so they start tearing up all of these trees, and that's when we see the Prime Katati jump out and the whole grove is dead, everything. And we see the swordsmen just start laying waste to everybody. And Quoi arrives, but far too late. The swordsman slain everyone on the battlefield, and he's just distraught. He breaks the sword, and he really makes a nice connection here. He connects them to Galactus. He's like, I understand why they fear him above all. It's because they are him. They are the same thing. They are our devourer of worlds, every last one of them. They cannot help themselves. They're brute appetites. They're machines for destruction. They just want more. And you know, they just tore him out of heaven. Like, you can only imagine the distaste and disdain and anger that he's feeling right now. And so they head back to the Katati homeworld. And this has really opened up our celestial messiah's eyes. You know, that grove was older than their entire civilization, and they cut it down like an afterthought. They killed their prophets, so why would he ever want to be their prophet? And so essentially he denounces the human race, and Quoi grew a sword from his chest and lets his father know that we're going to be needing a lot more of these. And so Quoi offers to be the sword of the swordsman, and that will be where this issue ends. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I really did enjoy this issue. Like, it really brought a humbling tone, almost feel sorry for the Katati, because at the end of the day, everything that's happening right now in Empyre is the result of humans wanting more. If they had just not gone back to that grove, if they had not gone back to try to take it, this intergalactic war may have never happened to begin with. You know, it just really brings to question humanity as a whole and what we're doing wrong and how we can do better. You know, comics usually are supposed to speak on some level, and I really think this one speaks on the things that we could be definitely doing better. So yeah, if you guys haven't yet, be sure to like and subscribe to the page, and until the next video.